Welcome back. You're looking very closely this evening at the situation in Kerala. We have quite decidedly moved from the rescue part of what was happening in Kerala over the last few days to more about relief and ultimate rehabilitation. And that's what we'd like to actually focus on in this part of the program, because there's a huge discrepancy between what the state government wants in terms of relief for Kerala, what the centre has been willing to provide. And in all of this, there are those who feel a lot for the state of Kerala, like the government of the United Arab Emirates, who've been quite willing to pump in a fair amount of money as well, in some cases more than what the centre has been able to dispense thus far. But first, let's give you an idea of the demands which have been made. Now, the Kerala government, this is on Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan's wish list, they want a 2,600 crore aid package from the centre. Now, this is for starters. Now, the centre has thus far released 600 crores so far. The state government, the state government says they'll submit a comprehensive plan to the centre to help build a new Kerala, not just fix the damage which has been caused, which is why they need to raise the ceiling on borrowing. They want the centre's permission to do this, to help them raise an additional 10,500 crore rupees. Now, some of the numbers which have actually done the rounds is that 20,000 crores thereabouts is what the state government really wants. Now, what is the centre's perspective in all of this? Now, the state government had wanted the centre to declare the situation in Kerala as being a national calamity. The point that's been mentioned is that there is no category called national calamity. The centre has said that there is no legal provision to declare a national calamity. They've said this to the Kerala High Court as well. Now, the Kerala Chief Minister said that losses were approximately at 20,000 crore rupees. So far, the centre has said 600 crore rupees has been released thus far. Is that the end of it? Not quite, because the centre will take stock before releasing more funds. The state government says release more now. The centre says we'll look and we'll evaluate the situation before doing more. Now, in all of this, Kerala clearly has friends. Remember, so many from Kerala are a key part of the workforce in the Middle East. And the United Arab Emirates, where there are lakhs of people from Kerala, has offered Kerala 700 crore rupees in aid. That's 100 crores more than what the centre has offered Kerala thus far. The largest individual contribution comes at 50 crores from Dr. Shamsheer Vayalil, the chairman of VPS Healthcare. There's the Lulu Group, which is dedicated 5 crores, and the Fatima Healthcare Group, which has donated 5 crores as well. This is just a handful of people who've been willing to contribute. But let me go back to Mr. M.B. Rajesh. Mr. Rajesh, the centre says that there is no category called national disaster. So therefore, they are following the rule book. And therefore, if there is more requirement in the future, they will give it. Do you believe that Kerala is being denied funds?
Before that, let me make 4 quick points regarding this coordination. Yesterday on NDTV, NDRF top official appreciated state government for minute-by-minute coordination for the information of Mr. Sandeep Singh. Secondly, Army has appreciated the role of the state government. Thirdly, Air Chief Vice Marshal has also appreciated the role of the state government. And fourthly, yesterday the High Court of Kerala has observed that the state government has done everything possible to meet this challenge of this flood. Now, coming to your question. According to initial estimates, we have suffered a loss of 20,000 crores. But when it comes to the final estimate, it may increase to 40,000 crores. So that is the situation, and we had demanded 2,600 crores as a preliminary package to meet the challenge. But the state government, the central government has thus far allotted rupees 600 crores. Yes, it is grossly insufficient, but we are still hopeful. We are not having a negative attitude. We are still hopeful that the Prime Minister himself has surveyed the situation, so he is well aware of the situation prevailing in Kerala. So he will take initiative to allot more funds to the state of Kerala. Secondly, the state cabinet which met today had taken some decisions, had made some requests to the central government. Number one is the state cabinet has decided to approach the GST Council for imposing a cess of 10% on GST.
Okay.
On and over and above GST, 10% cess. Secondly, the state government has also decided to approach central government for raising the market borrowing limit from 3%
yes, we've reported
to
that.
4.5%
Mr. Rajesh,
of
we've
GST.
reported that. And I'll come back to you in a moment, because I also wanted to go across to Mr. Himanshu Thakkar. He's an expert on rivers, people and dams. A lot of the funds which Kerala is getting now or would get in the future would be towards infrastructure building. The dams in Kerala, have just about held in many cases. Is a lot of the restoration activity also about enhancing the dams in the state?
I don't know. I think the whole plan of the state government should be made public as to what is this, all this expenditure include, what are the plans, and actually there should be, besides the immediate repair aspects, the new building should include, keep in mind that business as usual will invite more trouble, because one of the major reason for such a massive disaster is the kind of development that has gone on in terms of the ecologically unsound, socially sustainable kind of development. As far as the dams are concerned, similarly about the rivers, people have encroached on the river beds. The Kochi airport is only one example, but there are many other examples. And there again business as usual mean again you will be inviting more flood disasters in the future. So, encroaching on wetlands, water bodies and floodplains should be completely avoided while doing reconstruction. The next issue is that the whole process should be more democratic and participatory. As far as the dams are concerned, I think there are a couple of dams which have been damaged,
right,
and there they will be able to repair.
Okay, so
I think one important thing is that there should be an inquiry as to how the dams increased the disaster proportion, and how they could have decreased actually by better
I'm
operation
interrupting you now just because we've got the State Finance Minister, Mr. Thomas Isaac, joining us now. Sir, thanks very much for being with us. The United Arab Emirates has offered 700 crore rupees in relief. Just a clarification of the top, is that going to be taxed by the centre? Is that a concern for you?
Well, it will not be a concern of ours. The centre is going to compensate for that. We asked for 2,000 crores, they could give us only 600 crores. So, given that, I don't know why they should deny some other government or individual abroad.
But there is no indicator.
Donating to.
So, but there is no indicator that this would be
activities.
denied. I'm asking you a technical question because it amounts to a sizable amount of money. Because it's a cash transfer, is that going to be taxed?
Yes. See, UAE and Kerala has such a long relationship. In fact, a majority of the population UAE would be Malayalis.
No, but sir, is it going to be taxed? Is that amount going to be taxed? Yes or no, sir?
Going to be what? Done what?
Taxed. Is there going to be a tax on that amount of
I didn't
700
get you.
crores? Because it's a huge amount if it is.
Tax.
Yes, sir.
Tax.
Is the centre going to tax the provision of 700 crores from the United Arab Emirates, which is going to be coming to the state of Kerala? Because it's a direct cash transfer, sir.
There is no provision to tax that.
There is no provision to tax that.
No, there is no tax on that.
Okay.
No, there is none.
There is none. Okay, good. So the other point I'm asking is that your immediate assessment was about 20,000 crore rupees. It could eventually go up to 40,000 crore rupees. Given the fact that you've got only 600 so far, do you believe that your ultimate demands will not be realized?
Now, there are two categories of expenditure. One is the immediate relief. This requires something like 3,000 crores. We had asked Centre for 2,000 crores, they gave 600. And but the response to Chief Minister's Distress Relief Fund has been overwhelming. I think it may, I don't know, I don't want to guess. But even if you leave out UAE contribution and so on, it should go to something nearer to 1,000 crores. So I think we should be able to manage with a little contribution from our budget the immediate relief operations.
You also.
But the concern is
Yes.
about the second phase,
Yes.
the reconstruction.
Yes.
We are trying to make out a program, financing of which will require very great cooperation from central government. Our demands are, one, at least for 2 years, raise the FRBM borrowing limit for Kerala from 3% to 4.5%. That should bring us something like 20 to 25,000 crores rupees. Of course, you have to borrow. We would prefer to borrow from concessional lending facilities, multilateral agencies and so on, so that our inter-burden is kept below. One thing that would make a solemn promise is this money won't be used for revenue expenditure. It will be entirely for capital expenditure, so that our revenue deficit doesn't go up. Second, we are making a proposal to GST Council that we are permitted to impose a cess on SGST. IGST is for interstate trade and CGST is for central government revenue, and SGST is entirely intrastate trade. It should not affect center or other states.
Okay.
Therefore, our government should be permitted. I'm going to write to every finance minister of the state government asking them to support our cause.
Mr.
And
Isaac,
third,
Mr. Isaac, you make.
we are going to
Right.
ask for, yes.
Mr. Isaac, I understand the points that you are raising. We've reported them as well. I actually wanted to ask you about the state, the condition right now in Kerala. Do we continue to see the same number of rescues in some parts which have perhaps not been touched by rescuers so far? Have water levels started receding appreciably? Can you give us a situation of what's happening in the state?
To my best of my knowledge, I am personally involved in Alleppey, the Kuttanad region. Rescue operations we have stopped. Unless there is a distress call for some place, then we go out there and help them. The reason is now those who are staying in the flood area is done on their own volition. They don't want to come. They don't want to leave the house. They have living, say, 1-story, 2-story houses, and they think they are comfortable enough there. Otherwise, rescue operations as such is completed. Now our attention is focused upon the camps, relief camps. About 1.25 million, that's a count today of the population there. So their comfort, sanitation, food, and why not entertainment also. In fact, I've just made an appeal to our artists in Kerala to come and perform. Already in Alleppey camps, there are teams of singers and so on who are coming and performing.
Yes.
So we are looking towards now involved in running of the camps efficiently. But in a day or two, in many places people will start going back. Therefore starts a third phase, preparing the homes and premises for rehabilitation.
Right.
That means teams of plumbers and electricians to go and check it out.
Yeah.
Teams of volunteers, not teams, a mass army of volunteers to clean up the households and so on, and health workers to prevent any occurrence of epidemic and so on.
Mr. Isaac, one final
And
question to you. One
third
final quick
phase
question to you, sir.
starts
The time
reconstruction.
period. Do you believe that this is something that it's going to take years? Is there any estimate of how much time it will take before Kerala gets restored to its glory? I mean, of just a few weeks back.
Another 2 weeks back, Kerala will be back on track. But to heal all the wounds, our program targets a 2-year time frame. Within that 2-year time frame, the scars of the flood would have been removed. kind of reconstruction would have been completed. In fact, we have already had a meeting of chief secretaries to discuss how fast, quickly this can be implemented, what are the suggestions. We have had a number of meetings, the planning board, to work out a program of action.
Right.
So the work is on. By the time rehabilitation completed, we would have the program for reconstruction ready, and we are going to change our history. We have a bad track record in implementing large projects. We are going to see,
Right.
learn from the past and see that this reconstruction work is completed in time.
All right, Mr. Isaac, well, the entire country is with you in this incredible effort, and it's going to be perhaps your biggest challenge, sir, as a minister, and indeed for all of those in your cabinet to restore, to fix the state and to get lives back, into the condition that Kerala was in just a few days back.